Well, good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming out on a cold evening to be part of our annual meeting. I'm going to call the meeting to order. And just for introductions, I'm Julie Burkowski. I'm the current president for Backus. I've been a long-time member and part of the board, thanks to Ward, my neighbor. So, but like I said, we're happy to have everybody here. Other members that we have are part of our board here tonight is Patty Ballon. You want to turn around? Everybody know Patty. She's our secretary, and then we also have Tim Fairchild, who is our acting treasurer. Gail Roggenrud, another long-time man. Is Jim here? Oh, there he is. Sorry, I'm not paying attention. Yeah, Jim Lehman is here. And then Mike Williams, our newest member. So that is all of our board members. And then, do we want to go around and introduce the people that are here, or do you want to introduce staff first?
I'll introduce staff.
Okay.
If that's okay with you.
Donna's behind you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yep,
Oh,
Donna,
yes.
I'm sorry. And I even have a note on it. Donna via Zoom in Florida. Is our other member.
I think we should all go there for
Yeah,
this.
we're
Yeah.
That should be
Yeah, can we trade
Yeah,
spots?
it's a meeting down here.
I think so.
There we go. All right.
Well, welcome everyone. It's great to see so many of our friends here tonight. My name is Lois Lundin. I'm the executive director, and it's my privilege to introduce our staff to you. First of all, we have Waz Subchinsky. And an interesting piece of trivia about Waz, that on February 4th of this year, Waz celebrated her 16th anniversary at Backus. So thank you, Waz. Some of our people are here, some are not. Leonard Bobst is a cook here. Michelle Bolk is our event coordinator and music director. Brenda Bounds is part of our event staff. Chase Kerrigan is part of our kitchen staff. Alyssa Crawford is here, and she is our office assistant. Alyssa, how many years have you been in your job?
A little over 4 years.
A little over 4. What's the best? I know.
I really enjoy the community, helping out with the community and seeing everything that we can come together and do.
Alyssa does a wonderful job. She is the first face and voice that most people see when they come into the office, and she really creates a wonderful experience for people. So thank you, Alyssa, for everything you do. I want to back up for just a second to Michelle Bolk. Michelle, as our music director, is not only a music instructor, but she also coordinates a lot of our music programs. She facilitates a lot of the administrative tasks with the music lessons. You'll see in the booklet later on that we have 52 music students and 5 small groups. And she really coordinates all the efforts around all of that. That program is growing, and it's due largely in part to Michelle and her personality and her reputation with the students in our community. Jeremy Crawford is a cook. Doug George is one of our custodians here. Joe Kenny is a janitor. Joe Martinez is our building manager. He's a seasonal employee, but when he is here, he helps with construction and other various projects around the building. And Darcy Sullivan, way in the back of the room, is our KCC TV program director. Darcy, how long have you been in your role?
I think since 2018.
Okay, so that's coming up on 7 years.
Yeah.
What's the best part of your day?
Oddly enough, I'm kind of nerdy, and my favorite part is the editing and putting it all together, and when they're creative little pieces. That's the fun part.
Oh, well, you do a wonderful job with editing. I can only imagine the bloopers maybe you have tucked away somewhere.
Sometimes they take little videos with my phone, and I'll send it to the person.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Well, thank you for all that you do with KCC TV. You add a valuable service to everyone in our community and really around the world. We do see reporting that shows that there are people in Europe and different places that dial in through YouTube and watch the things that she's recorded. There are people who want to know what's going on here. So it's really cool. Thank you, Darcy.
Okay.
Okay.
So if we want to just take a moment and maybe if people will go around and introduce themselves. I know Wow is taking a role, but it just kind of helps to put faces and names together. So I think the front, most of everybody has been part of the board. So Ward, I'll pick on you and you can start.
Ward Merrill, retired former director here.
I'm Pat Edisted. Doreen Swinson.
Frank Swenson. Gene Edberg.
Bob Marquardt.
Carol Johnson. Peggy Kelly. Jane Pierce.
Well, again, thank you all of you for coming out. We're just going to kind of follow along through the book.
Oh, and then we have Piper.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, our youngest.
Piper.
Piper. Well, thank you for coming. And we'll turn to page 4 and take a look at these are the annual minutes from last year. I think you can see we kind of follow the same format, so we would need to approve the minutes. And if anyone wants to make a motion in regards to that, we would accept that if you want to take a moment to review them.
So move.
All right. Second by Mike. Tim.
Got it.
All right. Is there any discussion anyone needs in regards to last year's minutes? Not hearing any. Take a vote. So all in favor of accepting and approving the minutes for the 2024 annual meeting, say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Any opposed, same sign. Not hearing any, the motion passes. The minutes are approved. And then also moving on to page 5, you'll see there's a listing there of the current directors. And on the second to the bottom part, there is a listing of terms. There's some people whose term expired in 2025. Myself, Patty, and Gail are all currently up for re-election. And then we would also take any nominations from the floor at this time of anyone that would want to be a member of the board.
Yes.
So part of the process is that I need to ask 3 times. So is there anyone who would like to make a nomination to the board from the floor? Second time, and the final 3rd time, any nominations from the floor to the board of directors for Backus? Not hearing anyone, I would need a motion to approve the current listing for those that are currently up for re-election.
I so move.
Okay, Pat, thank you. And a second?
Second.
Jim? All right. Any comments or discussion in regards to that? Any questions? Not hearing anyone? The motion, take a vote. What? Uh-oh. No, you're not allowed to comment. Okay. No, anyway. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Not hearing any. The new board of directions or the continuation of the 3 members will go forward through 2028. Motion passed. Pardon?
It's only 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah, and it goes by fast. I can say that. All right. So then moving on to page 6 and 7, we have the treasurer's report. And Tim?
As Julie said, the treasurer's report is on page 6 and 7. 2024 was an extremely interesting, eventful year for Backus. And most of you probably know that a long-term project came to fruition with the AB building converted to apartments. And so many people have worked so hard on that for so long. It was just fantastic to see it done. And you'll see some of that reflected in our financials this year. Some people are here who worked so hard on it. I know Ward, Bob Marquardt, many board members, Lois and Waugh, just the teamwork, Isaac. So many people did so much work. It was hard to believe how much work it really was when you put together a complicated project like that with tax credits involved, the government involved, everyone involved with it, and it took a long time. But it came together and it got done, and it's almost one of the greatest things I've seen happen in the Falls for quite a while. Okay, let's start with the balance sheet, which shows our assets versus our liabilities. And you can see you have a column there, 2003, and a column of 2004. I'll try to comment on the biggest things that stand out. If you have questions, please feel free to ask now or later on. In 2004, you can see that our current assets, which are those items that are cash or readily convertible to cash, dropped significantly. The main reason for that, of course, was the project with the AB building. There were many things that happened. We received funding, we received a sales price for the building, but there's so many things that I won't say they were unanticipated, but turned out to cost more than you would think, like every project you're ever involved with. Things like electrical separation, water, sewer separations, the new transformer. Those items were not covered in a grant that we received from Otto Bremer and the sales price that we received from the buyers of the building. So it did take cash from Backus, and that's the main reason that our total current assets have dropped. Property and equipment are pretty close to the same, dropped a little bit because of accumulated depreciation, which is a kind of a non-cash expense. And so your total assets are down approximately a little over $150,000. Now, liabilities and equity. Our liabilities have dropped primarily because we have dropped some of our long-term liabilities, making mortgage payments on the 2 loans that we have. Equity in Backus has dropped a little bit because, as you can see, our net income there at the end of the year shows a negative $85,000. The reason for that is not our operations. The reason is the construction project. Now, if you turn over to the income statement on the next page, you also have 2003 and 2004 there. Total income was actually, for operations, was up in 2004. And you can see we get city support and county support, which we're very grateful for. One of the ones, if you look in 2004, membership and donations, which is the second item, is way up. And I think Lois is going to talk about that a little bit later, but our members have been very, very generous this year. Rental income was up. Our food program income was down. That's something maybe Lois will talk about, but a lot of the funding that we receive for food programs hasn't come through, didn't come through last year. A lot of agencies have kind of changed their focus, and just quite frankly, we didn't have the money. Another example would be the state of Minnesota that's our summer food program, I believe, used to reimburse us for it. Well, since the big scandal down in Minnesota with feeding our future, they have gotten so tight and restrictive, which is typical government, go from one way to the other extremes, that we didn't have the staff to adequately report all the stuff they required for the program. Looking at our expenses, they're only up a small amount. And again, you can see the third from the bottom there on expenses, your food program expenses down for the very reasons we were talking about. So we had a net operating income of $9,193. Then we have non-operating income and expense. And you can see in 2003, we had income there of $514,000. That was the sales price and the grant that we received from Otto Bremer. And of course, we spent that. So that money disappeared, and along with all the other things we had to do with the transformer, the electrical, the water, the sewer separations, all those things, and other improvements we've done to the building that were planned for, we end up with a non-operating loss of $94,000 and our net income being a negative $85,000. But again, that's based mostly because our AV project. And so we actually had, quite honestly, a better year than I expected we would in completing that project. Now, if you'll turn the page on funding received, there's a list of the funding that Backus receives from government agencies and grants. And we are so grateful for those. They help us tremendously, but it'll be an interesting year. The climate is changing on grants a little bit. They're going away from food help because of COVID, I think that was the reason they got so heavy on that, and getting other types of things they want to be involved with. So we're navigating through that, and we hope that we can pick up funding for things like our arts, music programs, and things like that they seem to be switching to a little bit. So you can see the funding received. Also, there's the page there for the endowment fund. And I'd like to acknowledge, again, Ward and Bob Marquardt for all the work they did on that endowment fund. They were instrumental in establishing it, and it's wonderful to have. It probably has been put a little bit on the back burner with all the work that's required with that AB project, but going forward, it's going to become a point of emphasis. So we can build up a fund for Backus that's going to ensure that this community building is here, the programs are here for generations to come in International Falls. Now, I think, are there any questions? I think Lois has a few words to say about the financial support that Backus has received.
Okay, and maybe before we do that, we need a motion for the
to
treasurer's
accept this?
report. Yes. So I need a motion to accept the treasurer's report. Patty? Okay, and a second?
I'll second.
Oh, well, Donna, we got you? All right. All right, okay. So all in favor of accepting the treasurer's report, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign? None opposed? The motion passes.
Thanks, Tim. That was a good account of our year. It was indeed a very challenging year. We had a lot of projects in flight. We had a lot of things happening. And Backus is very solid for having them all completed. So it was a very challenging year. I look back on it and it just seems like it was kind of a blur now. But what a year it was. On page 9, you'll see a letter. It's a story of gratitude. In November of 2024, we sent out a letter to our community. We recognized that we wanted to do some fundraising, so we crafted a letter and sent it out to our membership. It was a very heartfelt letter from the Backus leadership asking for financial support. The letter was very genuine, it was very simple, and it was very truthful and honest. People received this letter, and the response that we saw from the people of our community and all around, our membership all around, was incredible. I would bring mail into my office every day. Look who wrote, look who wrote. It was wonderful to see. As of December 31st, 2024, the funding that's reported in this budget was a receipt of $30,768 just from that one effort, that one letter that went out to our people. Member support is vital for this community center. It enables us to do the work that we do. There is so much good happening at Backus, and we're very, very grateful to our members for their support. It doesn't stop, and we couldn't do what we do without them. So thank you, everyone. There was another funding. There was another contribution that came in the middle of the year from, it was a very significant contribution from a private group, and that was about $30,000. It was just over $30,000. So between those two, it really gave our financials a boost for the year.
Okay, and then did you want to cover your
I can-
executive report?
Yep, I
Okay.
can move right into the executive director's report.
This is page 10.
It starts on page 10, yes. First thing that I want to do is acknowledge the businesses that we have in our building here. On the first floor, we have Ben Weirtz with Thrivent. Kutaska has a very strong presence in the Backus building. The Rainy River Rugrats are here through the end of March. Dancing with Darcy is still tapping away down there. It's incredible to have the kids here. It's what a joy. 4-H is alive and well. Lots of kids involved in projects and happenings there. The Coochin County Veterans Lodge is still busy upstairs on the second floor. Minnesota driver's license keeps our building hopping on Tuesdays. The Oberholzer Foundation is here. They have 2 spaces up on the second floor. The International Falls Police Department is up on the 3rd floor. In our lower level, we have the Mustangs Wrestling Group is here. And way up on the roof, most people don't know this, is Trimble. And Trimble is a Google Earth unit. So it's really cool. We have that here at Backus. We celebrate our tenants and are very grateful for them. There are new prospects coming through the door. We had some tours last week of interested people who are looking to come here to Backus. The executive director's report. You know what, Piper, I'm going to have you come up really quick. This is a little out of order, but Piper has to leave in just a few minutes, and I want you all to see something that's happening. Show everybody what you did. So tell us about this.
So we have crochet club downstairs, and we make all kinds of creations down there with crochet.
Michelle Volk is teaching the kids how to crochet. She does a lot better than I do. But it's fun. You have a good time. How many kids are down there, Piper? Do you have any idea?
I think there's like 10 or something.
Yeah, it's really cool to go down and see all these little kids busy, and they're having a lot of fun. This was today's project, wasn't it?
Mhm.
Very good. Congratulations.
Yeah,
Thank you for
thank
bringing that up.
Good job. Yeah.
Okay, on to the executive director's report. I'm going to read the top paragraph. 2024 was the second year of 2 that will be recorded in Backus history as a time when great dreams were realized. On September 26, 2024, the leadership teams from Backus and the Alexander Baker apartment stood together with our community to celebrate the grand opening of the Alexander Baker apartment building. A vision of so many people who founded the Citizens for Backus AB in 2002 was finally reality. That was a grand day, and I will never forget it. I will never forget it. Backus's commitment to fulfilling our mission is stronger than ever. We take our contributions to this community very seriously, and we are very proud of the work that we do. Backus is offering a wider range of programs and activities to cater to diverse interests and ages. Piper is a key example of that. This crochet group, Michelle had an idea. She wanted to lift it off the ground, and the response has been just wonderful. More and more kids come all the time. We have had back to school events with the United Way. We've had a babysitter's class. We have a bridge club. We have community theater and community music and everything in between. People call. We just had a phone call the other day from a new couple in town, and they're elderly, they're retired, they moved to town and wanted to know if Backus was a place they could come and play cards. So we're encouraging people to come gather together and do these things. We pay close attention to the evolving needs of our community, and we're looking to respond and build our programs and make offerings available to everyone. We work diligently to offer arts events that people enjoy and look forward to. There are several things that are going on, but we are working to bring fun activities and engaging art programs to our northern Minnesota community. Our focus has taken a little different view. We are really focusing on our local talent. There is a lot of talent. Our community is very rich in a lot of local talent, so we bring those folks to the stage. And it's been a lot of fun. It's been encouraging and good for people to get involved. I hear so often that people say, I didn't know she could do that. It's fun. We strive to offer resources and opportunities for artists of all ages and skill levels to develop their talents and express themselves. We had a young man come into the building just the other day, and he was here again today. He is trying to build up his confidence and his courage with his singing. So he comes to Backus, and he's out on the stage. He brings his little amplifier and his music and a microphone and a couple of his buddies, and he's singing. And he's just working really hard to learn. It's something he's very passionate about, and he asked if he could do it, and we said yes. He wants to have some open mic time. He's coming through a recovery process. He's successfully graduated from drug court, and he has friends that are doing the same, and they want to come to Backus because they can have a dry, sober place to meet and to be creative and have fun. We welcome that. That's a really good thing. And I'm really honored that they came here and asked if they could be here. It's really cool. Our goal is to create enriching experiences that inspire creativity, foster connections, create memories, and bring joy to everyone involved. And I think we're doing a good job with that. Backus has completed facility upgrades to provide more comfortable and functional environment for everyone. We've installed new flooring and new lighting throughout the building. If you walk down our main hall, even though this will be in our 2025 report, we have new lighting in our main hallway. We chose a style that was very close to what was there, but it is efficient and meets today's needs. So it's really very nice. It's very bright. So take a look as you're walking through the main hall. We have brand new emergency lighting and exit signs throughout the building. Everything is LED, it's at code, and it is the same, and everything is now operational. Our conference room tables, I want to call attention to this. Our conference room tables that you're sitting at all have new tops. The legs were all refinished, but they all have new tops. Jean Edberg in the back of the room did that for us, as well as rebuilding and refurbishing these shelving units. So thank you, Jean. Thank you. Our fire alarm system has been updated and enhanced and improved. It's up to code. And the John Faith Little Theater is a pride thing for us here at Backus. We're happy to have small venue, smaller, closer, more intimate events down in the John Faith Little Theater. We look forward to a lot more happening down there. It's no secret that things changed during the pandemic. Today's economy is also a very different picture than what we had before, so Backus has had to evolve with all of those changes too. We strive to work with the community, hear what it is that the community needs and wants, and then help bring those offerings to the people of our northern Minnesota region. We fully expect that Backus is going to build on the momentum from 2024 and continue to grow and serve our community in very impactful ways. We are very grateful to our supporters for the many ways they contribute to our success. My pages are off. So on the next page, you'll see over here, there is a listing of ways that we have served our community over the past years. Most of these events are repeat events. They happen year over year. So if you ever wonder what's going on at Backus, take a look at this list. You'll see it's very diverse, but we are very busy in this building and we serve a lot of people here. Are there any questions on the executive director's report? Question?
Lois, a
Yes.
quick one. You mentioned Ben Wirtz, Thrivent. Now, is he still with Thrivent?
He is. He had gone off in an independent, in a different way, into a different business, but he is back with Thrivent now. That's very recent. A couple of months, maybe?
Couple months.
Good to know. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, people missed him.
Yeah.
Well, in fact, he even used our office, his office here, there's local mailing address, so people will be more familiar with Ben.
Yeah. Thank you, Ward. Any other questions? Doreen?
I wasn't keeping up with these balance sheets, Tim, when you were talking. I said, and did you speak of what the difference is in the non-operating income and expenses? Like a lot. It's like $400,000 or something like that. Difference? Is that the purchase of AV or something? Or
Yes.
Just, that kind of, is that what that was?
Yeah, and the money that we received to for some of the grants, I believe. I'm sorry, Tim, I'll let you. You're talking about the 500 versus the 6,000?
Yes,
Yeah.
in 2023,
Versus the 94 in the
Yeah.
whole.
the non-operating income, $514,000 came in to the Backus. Half of that is a grant and half of it is the sales price of the building.
Okay.
And that money was spent in 2024.
Right.
So that's the big difference.
And it was meant to be spent, yeah. Thank you.
Both good questions. Any others?
Anything else? Okay, all right, well, thank you, Lois.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then I think we have our operations report, and Patty as the chair is going to speak to those.
Well, thanks everybody for coming. Operations is, we try to discuss the things that are happening in Backus and that need to be taken care of and keep the building running. Tim and Lois both mentioned the transformer that was part of the AV project. It was a pretty ancient transformer system that we had at Backus. And it's been updated and it's much safer, and AB and Backus each have their own transformer now, so it makes it more efficient. The KCC TV, Darcy finally got some updated equipment. She probably still needs more, but we're trying to give her improvements as needed. In the city, in the county, both helped with that, and we got a Knutson grant also that contributed to that. She covers a lot of different meetings and a lot of different productions at Backus, so we need to help her improve her equipment. Lois mentioned the exit and emergency lighting, and she also mentioned the John Faith Little Theater. I think John Faith would be quite happy with what's happening down there, and there's always more things that we will need down there, but it's being used and it's quite a nice little theater now. It looks much different than when John had it. This strategic planning. Our committee, we kept moving it back, and that was mainly because of the AB project and too many things on our plates. But we will resume that, and we would like to involve stakeholders in the community that coordinate things with Backus, and maybe people have good ideas. We welcome them, and if there's things you'd like to see happen at Backus, please bring those ideas forward and we can include it. Or if you'd like to come to a planning meeting, we'd welcome that. Lois also mentioned our Kutaska is a new tenant, and we're quite happy to have them. And I think that all started with Isaac. He wanted to put them in the AB building years ago, and we finally have them in Backus anyway, and we're quite happy to have them. And then the Rugrats will be moving, but we hopefully will fill their space soon. And the city police department, no update at this time. It's an ongoing issue. And the endowment fund, Bob and Ward were a big part of getting that started. There's contributions coming in slowly and steadily, but we always welcome more, and so spread the word for contributions, and we really appreciate it. Is there any questions?
Is that kind of how you're leaving it, the endowment? Let's just all give as we're able for a while. Was there a goal or?
Well, we had set a goal of $500,000, was it?
Yeah.
1 million.
1 million.
1 million.
Okay.
And
Okay. We got work to do then.
Yes.
Well, just a little bit of background on the endowment fund too. The original plan was developed by Gordy Edisted years ago, and we never really did anything with it. It's been revised a bit, but it was Gordy's idea to put in there before I even got involved here. The impetus for the fund being reactivated was Marcia and Ivan Stewart, who gifted us $100,000 over 3 years, and that formed the basis of the fund and all the growth that you see from there. So they were instrumental in actually putting the money in the pot.
And we have had a couple significant contributions since then, but
Yeah, and if anybody wants more information, there's a pamphlet in the office about, what you can do, or different forms that may be, how people would want to give. So we encourage you to, look for that or ask for it, and certainly we'll provide that for you.
so thank you for being members and supporting Backus in the ways you do.
Yep. Thank you, Patty.
Thank you for your
All right. So then if we're moving on, do we want to talk about the capital and building improvements?
It was just a little more detail if anyone
Okay.
wants to read.
Yep. Yeah, and I think there's a lot of good information in there. Some of the things we've already talked about. I know the final one you were kind of excited about, and like I said, some of the people that are. If you were ever a student here in Backus, you might remember or know that the flooring that actually is in these 2 rooms, which is now Kataska's space.
Yes.
Correct. Yes. But when they were kind of remodeling or updating that space, the carpet was pulled back, and there was an end cut flooring where they had taken, if I understand, the ends of the boards and laid them down into the floor to make the flooring, and then it was all sealed up and covered. And actually, yes.
Also, this room was too. This was the main shop.
Right. Yep.
And that's where that kind of flooring was critical.
Yeah, and I guess, this wasn't able to be salvaged, but that is, and it's now kind of been sealed, and, there to kind of go forward for prosperity and for people to see what it was really like and how this all, and it's amazing when you look at even this room to think that, at one point it was a shop room. And I mean, I remember coming and using the lathe and doing all those things here. So it's impressive what we've done and how it's transformed and how it's still being used. So then the next page I think is 14, which is our arts and programming. And I think Gail would like to share with what they've been doing over there.
So Julie was allowed in the shop room. When I went to school back in the olden days, we weren't allowed out of the home. Okay, on page 14 is arts and programming. We meet often and try to move our arts and programming ahead. We strive to offer very diverse, easy to access arts opportunities to the citizens across our region. We truly believe that the arts play a crucial role in our remote communities' health and well-being. Our making arts opportunities available to people contributes to a healthier, more vibrant community. Our goal is to provide programming for people of all ages and walks of life to experience at whatever level they choose. The Backus Music Program opens up a world of discovery to people who want to be involved in music. Backus Music provides music lessons for 52 students and 5 small groups. Students of all ages to learn to play most all instruments, including piano, keyboard, strings, brass, woodwinds, and percussion. Voice lessons are also available. Backus is home to the Rainy Lake Community Orchestra, the Junior Orchestra, the Rainy Lake Chimes Handbell Choir, the Community Band, the Community Choir, and the Tuesday Musical Scholarship Program. The Backus Theater Program is a highly favored by our community, both by the people who participate in productions and by the audiences who come to watch the shows. There are 4 primary theater groups, each catering to their own styles and activities. The Borealis Bards focus on full-length storytelling productions. The Junior Bards also bring stories to life, and they teach young, aspiring actors and actresses behind-the-scenes skills that are involved with the productions. The Rainy Lake Playhouse and the Backus Community Theater bring opportunities for people of all ages to participate in readers' theater, one-act plays, musicals, and musical reviews. We've talked a little bit about KCC TV. I remember when it got started and it was kind of foundering, and now it's very successful, and I think a lot of people in our community dial in to see what's happening. Thank you to Darcy. Backus Arts and Programming brings performing arts to the Backus stages. We've kind of transitioned from primarily hosting artists who are largely unfamiliar to local people to hosting concerts and theatrical performances featuring local talent. This is well received. Attendance at concerts and events have seen downward shift across many communities since the pandemic, so we weren't alone when we saw that our audiences were getting smaller. This has been challenging. Backus offers performances that are likely to encourage people to venture out. We strive to offer a diverse range of events in an atmosphere that is welcoming and inviting, where people feel enriched and entertained. Backus Arts, we also have a summer arts programming. The coming year will once again host a camp for kids to experience swing choir, dance, and theater. Past programming included a wide range of crafting classes, puppetry, and introduction to music. Backus Arts also offers classes in fiber and textile arts to area youth. Learning to crochet has proven to be a hit, and you saw the results of that one. Community recreation is big at Backus. People come to play pickleball, which is big everywhere, and this is where it happens. Volleyball, basketball, wrestling, and to enjoy recreation time. We're proud to have area homeschool students use our gym. The Backus halls and stairways are popular places for people to walk and get their steps in. We have lots of stairs for people who think they need stairs for their hearts. And the Backus Puzzle Library is located in our first floor west hallway, and it's a popular attraction for many people in our community. I lost my other page. I did. You did.
Do you want to talk about the program highlights?
Yes.
Oh.
I don't have it.
Yeah, it's right there.
Oh, yeah, I do.
Yeah,
there it
it's
is.
just shortened up, sorry.
Yeah. Okay, Backus looks to build and strengthen music, theater, arts, and recreation programs that are happening today. Our programs encourage learning through the application of the arts and through participation in community events. Participation at any level promotes health and wellness for participants of all ages. Our goal is to keep the opportunities for activities alive and to make the offerings relevant to what people of our community want. We will continue to diversify our programs. We will work with passionate instructors who can inspire and guide students and participants in their artistic journeys. We will continue to provide regular opportunities for students and community citizens to showcase their skills at recitals, plays, concerts, performances, and art displays. We encourage our community to tell us what they would like to see, learn, and do at Backus. We welcome anybody's suggestions if you have any roads we should be marching down. And we have our meetings on the third Tuesday of each month and at 12 o'clock, and everyone is welcome.
Thank you, Gail. As far as the agenda goes, we have, I need to know if there's any old business that anyone would like to address or bring up. I don't have anything in our agenda currently. I think we've covered everything. And then there would be an option. Is there any new business that anyone feels that they want to talk or address at this point?
Julie?
Yes.
This isn't really new business, but Doreen's question was a very good one on the financials. And I went through it kind of quickly, assuming that everybody knew that by far the biggest expense to Backus after we sold the AB building was over $500,000 for the new boiler alone. I probably talked too much about the electrical, the water, the sewer separation. Those are things all on top of the $500,000 plus for the new boilers. So thanks for bringing that up.
It does look good if that was in one nutshell.
Yeah.
It cost that much. Wow.
Yeah. It was a big, well, a big process separating, I think, the two buildings that nobody really, I mean, I think was anticipated, but the level and the, expertise that was required to get that done was a big undertaking. And we had a lot of partners and people that worked really hard and were creative. And I mean, at one point they were digging through the floor of the basement to put the water and the piping through. So it's really remarkable, and everybody did a fantastic job, and we're really happy that it's behind us. Yeah.
Yeah, we were out of town in September when you had the open house,
Mhm.
grand opening. Is it possible, is it like totally full, or is it possible to tour it now if we were to call up, or is it just?
That's a good question. I was under the impression that it is completely full right now.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know. I mean, you could
That's
certainly,
awesome.
yeah.
That
You
is
could-
really awesome.
You could certainly reach out to them and see, and they may have people, yeah, that would be willing to let you kind of peek in a room.
I asked that same question of somebody over there, and they said the doors are locked, so I thought maybe you could just go in.
Oh.
You can't, you have to.
Yeah, it
I
is.
would want an escort.
Yeah, it is a secure building.
You drive
So.
by at night, and I asked someone, I drive by at night, and I hear this place is full, but it's dark.
And tonight I looked.
But they have privacy shades, they pull down. and
Yeah.
blocks the light.
Okay.
Yeah, that was part of the design of the building.
Why aren't there any lights on?
Right, that's good to know. Yeah, I was so sad. We knew we'd be away that week. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, one other expense I think to be mentioned is, I don't think anybody realizes how expensive it was to separate the electrical and put in the new transformer. That was huge too.
It was very big. The electrical, the transformer, the gas lines, everything out there, it
Yeah.
all had to be redone, and they had to put new meters out, everything. And there was a cost with all of that came. It was very expensive. But I'm glad to say that we had funding, that we had finances in place, that we were able to do all the things that we needed to do. Backus is in good shape. I'll share a report. I just talked with John. John Harris is our boiler operator, and he comes in, he takes care of the boilers, he watches the water levels, he watches the water quality, everything about the building. As cold as it has been when we've had these 20, 30 below weather days, he called me yesterday and he said, just so that you know, the boiler that's running is operating at 35% of its capacity, and we're warm.
Wow.
So we made a good choice. We bought an American-made product. They're running like a charm. It's doing everything that we hoped it would do.
Okay.
I have one more thing.
Okay. And, well, are you going to address
That
this?
was it.
Oh, okay.
You do it.
Okay, I can do it, that's fine. At your tables, there's an annual feedback meeting form that I would ask that all of you please complete either tonight or on your leisure, whenever it is. Lois did not inform me I was being rated, so I was a little upset, but somewhere in the middle would be fine. Anyway, but we really do want to hear what the community wants, how we can make Backus a better place, or add additional things, and like I said, we talked a little bit, Patty did, about strategic planning. That is our priority going forward, is figuring out a way to make this building continue on as it has, being a place for everyone, and and active and involved and financially solvent. So it takes all of us, and we're all very committed to seeing that happen. But we would love to hear any feedback or questions or anything like that. You're certainly welcome at any time. There is an email that is directed just to the board if you want to direct it that way. I don't know what it is off the top of my head.
You know what, I don't either, but
Oh,
it
you know
is
what?
on the website.
Actually, I think it's in last year's minutes, if I remember right.
I think it's at the very end of the minutes, is it?
No, maybe not.
It is on the website, though, on
Okay.
on the board of directors page.
Yeah, so if you go to the board, and I think we're still, as far as getting information about what's happening at Backus, the website is still very active, and we try to keep it up to date, so we encourage you to use that as a resource. I know there's a Facebook page, you know, if you can follow us and want to see what's happening that way. And, you know, that's usually what happens, how I find out my information most of the time. But I love it, and so like I said, I definitely would want that. And I just wanted to put a plug in too. There is an event on Saturday. The Icebox Theater is down in the basement, in the John Faith, I shouldn't say the basement, sorry, the John Faith Little Theater. And it sounds like it's going to be, they described it as a mystery with thrills and comedy. So I think they are covering their bases. And every time I've seen them do any production, I'm always impressed how they put it all together, the way they do sound effects. It's, you know, really entertaining. And again, I encourage all of you, you know, whatever your interest is, please come out and, you know, participate and be involved, because we want to see this building used, and and everybody to be able to appreciate and enjoy. So, I don't know, anything else?
I think you covered it really well.
Okay. Well, I think that concludes our 2024 annual meeting. The meeting will be adjourned at 6:55. Right?
Okay.
Yeah. It's not really 7, is it? Okay.
No,
But, okay. Yeah, and thank you again, everyone, for coming.